remember the day my husband and I found out we were pregnant. It was a total dream come true. It was everything we'd been hoping for and dreaming for since the moment we had got married. This was just all of our dreams right now and right here happening before our eyes. We got nothing done the rest of the day. We literally just dreamed and dreamed and dreamed about this baby that we were now going to be having so soon. And we were pregnant at the same time of our best friends. It was literally what dreams are made of. We were just so excited beyond getting to share the news with our family. It was all just magical. It was everything we had pictured it being and more. The whole first trimester of pregnancy felt like that for us. We had the best time. My Pinterest board was on point. I mean, everything that I had been compiling, it was all happening right now, and I just couldn't get enough of it. Neither one of us could. It was so much fun. But then there was this one moment at the very end of our first trimester when really everything just kind of shifted. I woke up in the middle of the night with an extreme amount of pain, and I had no idea what was going on. I woke up just scared to death. I couldn't even walk. I was in so much pain, and of course I was just so concerned and worried about my little baby, what was going on. And Randall, of course, was worried too. We went to the emergency room, and it took them a little while. Like, we were all just trying to figure out what was happening, and I had honestly never been, so afraid in my life. And we were sitting there waiting, trying to figure out what was going on. And I didn't know it then, but this was kind of the start of something that was going to keep happening for the rest of my pregnancy. One hospital visit turned into two, and two turned into four, and four turned into, before we knew it, 8 different emergency room visits, hospital visits, and all of it just trying to figure out what was going on. We were so excited about pregnancy and being pregnant and having our first baby, and that never changed, but our prayers really shifted from just being excited and focusing on a healthy baby to just praying and hoping I could stay pregnant long enough to have a healthy baby. Everything was just all of a sudden flipped upside down. And I had never been in that space before, in my heart or in my head, just really scared, worried, out of control. I had zero control over my own body for the first time in my life, is what it felt like. And that was a space that I had never been in before. And honestly, it really, at the time, it really broke me. I had been an athlete my whole life. I was used to being good for it, like I had never really been in a space where I didn't have control over myself. I was used to trusting God with circumstances and life events, but I was not used to having to trust Him completely for my physical health or for the health of my baby. That was all so new to me. It wasn't something I could actually control. And being in that place was something that I for sure didn't expect when I started this journey, when we found out we were pregnant. You don't plan for these kinds of things to happen. And I was completely scared. I remember one night just kind of telling Randall how scared I was. I didn't understand why things were happening like this, why it was so difficult, and why this was the way it was for me in pregnancy. And he was so incredibly encouraging, and he was so much strength for me along the way. And then I had an incredible group of women around me that were just encouraging me when I really honestly couldn't encourage myself. When I couldn't, be strength for me, I was surrounded by people that were bringing me strength. They were encouraging to me, they were praying for me. I had always valued prayer, but at this point in my life, I was desperate for it. I needed it more than anything else. I also knew that God was everything, but at this space in my life, He was literally my only thing. There wasn't any other answers for me, nothing that could quick fix everything that was going on in my pregnancy. It was literally just a waiting game and having to trust and know that God was taking care of me when I couldn't necessarily see it right now. I had to just keep trusting and keep believing. And honestly, it was being surrounded by my amazing husband, who was constant strength and encouragement for me, and all the incredible women in my life and other people that were just constantly reaching out and saying, hey, I've got you, I'm praying for you, this is going to be okay, your baby is healthy and whole in Jesus' name. All of those things flooding my life are what kept me moving forward each and every day, being able to take those steps forward confidently when it didn't really feel like I had any solid ground to stand on. And knowing in the middle of all of that too, being able to know and see how intentional God's love is in this season of my life honestly blows my mind. Because in a place where, you know, I couldn't really necessarily see, you know, how things were going to pan out. I was just believing and hoping and trusting and knowing that God was faithful. But God saw me in every single one of those moments, and he never left my side. When I couldn't take care of my baby girl, when I couldn't just, you know, reach down and pick her up and tell her everything's okay, or, you know, make sure she was okay, or put my eyes on her right now, God had his eyes on her. And even, you know, whenever I went in to have her, everything up to this point, you know, we were in and out of the hospital so many times. When we delivered our little baby girl, God was just so good to us, because nothing went like we had planned. Nothing went like we had pictured, but she was perfect, and she was so healthy and so beautiful. When I saw her for the first time and got to hear her cry, that was everything I had dreamed of. And she ended up being, you know, less than an ounce shy of having to go to the NICU. I mean, down to every little last detail, God knew and God saw. And in a position where I wasn't able to see any of those things, but knowing on this side of it that God was working every little detail down to less than half an ounce, blows my mind. I am so thankful because I can look and I can see God's love in such an overwhelmingly powerful way. And there's just nothing in the world greater than the love of God.